Good morning, guys. How are you all doing today? Tell you what, I had a very good nap last night. Oh, things are starting to feel a bit safer and more like I'm in control, let's just say that. And that makes a very big difference. But new day means a new mission from Strider. Wonder what he wants me to get on with today. Let's hop into a vehicle where I can talk, or where he can send me the transmission. This will do.
Energy low.
And it's a good time to charge up my suit. Right. Let's see, what mission has he got for me today?
Pioneer, your hauler rover's done good work, but let's be honest, it's seen better days. After all those heavy runs from the iron quarry, the suspension's looking a little tired. Now that you've got access to more refined materials and components, I think it's time for an upgrade, or maybe just a clean slate. Build something new. What I'd like you to do is design a new chassis that can replace your current hauler. Call it a version 2 or whatever suits you, but make it sturdy, reliable and modular. You'll need it for future operations, especially once we start expanding the rail network. You know the terrain, you know the limits. Build something that pushes both. Strider out.
Okay. Right. I wouldn't personally say that this rover is that bad. It's got suspension issues, I'll give it that. But I think it's holding its own at the moment. But I can build another one. I'm not object to building more rovers. I very much like to build them. But in order to build one, we should probably build a new site, which is where I can build them. So what I want to do first is... I hear a spider. I no longer hear a spider. Yeah, so I'm thinking what I want to do, because a couple of things actually today, or over this week, is over here I want to build a little power station where I can add some batteries and we can have some good storage. I want to build a pipeline for components which runs from this site over to the site which I'm going to be building. That way I can basically have access to components over there, which would be very useful. And this area over here, I think I'm going to design to be a... what would be the word? Like a garage? Yeah, a garage make. Like that is probably the best description I could give. Basically just somewhere where I can store my vehicles but also build new vehicles. So yeah, let's start from there and let's build this way. Just thinking about sizes may already be too big, but we can try. I've already decided this is going to be too big for what I want.
Meteor storm inbound.
Like that. Yeah, that would give like a nice vibe, and it'll also mean this whole thing's a little bit smaller. Oh, sorry, bit bigger. Completely the opposite word right there.
Meteor storm inbound.
Yeah, a bit of meat. So then we can rotate that around like that. Like that. Like that. Which one am I looking for? That one, like that. And then I want the center full block. No, that one. Yes. I'm just going to get rid of it. So it's now going to be that big, which means it's going to be, is it a 7 or 9? I think it's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Beautiful. Okay, I like that. As for height and size, will this type of rover, because this is probably a similar, it's going to be a similar size to the new one that I built. So let's just turn that off for now. Alright, so as for the size, so this is how big the quote-unquote tent, I guess I'm going to call it, is going to be, which isn't too bad. And the nice thing about something like this is I can easily just build multiple of them. Like, I'm thinking about having like 3 or 4. But like, as for like the size, even when I drive up here, I still have like almost a full block's worth of, a couple of meters worth of height, which is good. So that should be very nice. The meteors are still falling, as you can hear. Okay, and then thinking about it, I probably don't want this all the way through. Because one other thing I want to do, which I guess would be towards the back, that would kind of make sense, is I want to have it be raised up. So I can have a trench underneath, but also raised up, like just by like half a block. And that way, yeah, so if I do something like that, but there's no point of even using full blocks, is there? I could also do it a little bit fancier and do that. Yeah, I like that. Makes the hole a little bit bigger. Yeah, cool. So I'll sit like back there, and then over at the front I can have some other tools and bits and pieces. But I'll also probably dedicate this one to being the one which is where I build stuff. And then I'll end up building a couple more of these in the future. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this floor fully filled in and I guess welded up. I'll switch over the vehicle to its welders and get this floor welded up, because it'd be easier to do the floor before I do all of the roof. Yeah, right. Gonna crack on with that. Right, so we're just about finished on the... Gonna call it a hangar? I guess hangar is a term for this. I don't know, garage? Workshop? White box of doom? I don't know. But yeah, it's overall quite a nice building. It needs painting, don't get me wrong. It's a little bit standy-outy at the moment. But I do like it. Let's get rid of that. And I should be able to drive this vehicle in nicely, and everything should be perfect. What could possibly go wrong? Technically nothing. God, this thing has got really, really knackered suspension. You know what? Strider's not wrong. This thing does need to retire itself. Right. Let's something just flew off it. That seems safe. Yeah, that looks good. Ah, perfect. So now, if I put my ramp down, yeah, I have full access to the undercarriage of this vehicle. That is very cool. I like that. So I could access everything if I needed to repair stuff, or like just tweak stuff, or just anything. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Yeah, I like that. But it is time to get some other things sorted first. So what I need to do is I need to get a pipe system up in place to be able to access some more stuff.
Meteor storm inbound.
I'm gonna press something I didn't mean to press. I did. Whoops. What have I chucked out? Just components. Has it emptied it fully? Yeah, it has. Okay, what did I have? Construction, some magnesium powder, some motors. Very nice. Hey look, the sky's falling down. It's trying to kill me again. Yay. What I gotta do is I gotta build a vehicle. It is very dark in here. May need to put some lights in place. Dee dee dee. Dee dee dee. Dee dee dee. Nice, nice, nice. Can I drive, like, in here? Is this a dumb idea? Probably. But it works, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. It's fine. Perfect. I just full send it, and yeah, it won't bump. Perfect. And that marks the hangar. Nice. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it up with some power, and then we're going to start building our vehicle. Right, let's get on with it. So, I do have an idea on another custom suspension setup. However, it is untested and I don't know if it'll work. Is that going to stop me from building it here? No. So, what I need to do is get rid of all of that. And I want some blast door blocks. We've got the rotors and hinges. I'm going to need Suspension. So I want. We'll just go with those, which I'm aware that I should be using the left and right for the alternative tread patterns, but I have never once cared. As you can probably tell by the fact that that one goes down and the fact that that one goes up. Yay. So what I need to do, I think, is build... We'll build 4 out. I don't know if that's enough or if that's too many. And then I want to build a couple
Meteor storm
like
inbound.
that on either side. And then we'll go with an advanced rotor just because I can. Let's see what's the difference in price. Same. Exact same. So I want to place a couple of them, set them to 0. Perfect. And then we'll place a block like that. And then I guess... Well, what I'll have to do is angle the wheels back. So, something like that. I guess something like that. And then from there, that should allow me to place the big wheels. Which, like that, and like that. And that should be a decent gap distance. Perfect. Yep, I like that. And then begins the fun. So what I want to do is place a hinge there with a 1x1 suspension. If I can find the right one. Yeah, that'll do. And I want to place it so it's like that. And it should drop down. Perfect. And then from there, I want to grind that off. I guess I can place them continuing on. Because from about, I guess here, we want to place a piston and a rotor head. Do I have all the parts to build a piston? Probably not. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. What about in here? Hey, I do. Nice. Perfect. And then that should be able to extend that. Perfect. And this might explode. No, it's actually fairly stable. That's good. Nice. Nice. I'm just gonna get these welded up now, just because so they're done with. And then I want to place another blast door there, and I guess there, and then I need to make sure it's on the actual rotor, which should be right there, and let's put it so it's at the top. Then I can delete that. And then in the actual suspension, can do that.
Meteor storm inbound.
And let's reverse it up. Actually, I've done that wrong. I want that one to be another block in. It wants to be there. And so let's then reverse that one up there like that.
Meteor storm inbound.
Attach that onto there. Get that one there. And that is a suspension thing. All I've got to then do is put it on the other side and then duplicate it on that side. And that should allow for movement in both directions. So if I was to, yeah, angle it. Obviously it won't move that much. But it should be able, to be honest, this is actually going to give an idea of how far it can move. Probably give it like 10 degrees each way. That seems about right. But for now, we'll keep it all to 0, just to keep things nice and smooth. Yeah, I quite like that design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a bit of time getting the 4 ones built, and I will be back in a second.
Late this morning, body aching, moving is a burden. I can't lift my head. Slotted light on fabric, cross your imprint, shadows, gilded pictures, haunting me in bed. We were young and
Right, so this is the rough idea of what I want, or basically what I'm building. So in the back, it's got an amount of movement where it can sort of tilt, well, basically raise over these wheels up, and then the front has, or will have, a little bit of movement with a help of a rotor, so it can, the whole thing can pivot and twist a little bit. But other than that, it's not too complicated. I don't know if I'm going to put one of these systems on the front wheels to sort of counteract how much it can steer. It would make sense, but I don't 100% know yet. To give a bit more information about this particular vehicle, this is one that will utilize trailers, so it's like semi-trailers. Which I think should be quite nice. Main reason for that is that way the weight isn't always, or isn't trying to crush this type of suspension. It's going to be mainly on the trailer suspension, which should be a little bit better. But like I say, we'll have to see. We'll have to do some experimentation. But to give, I don't know if I'll. No, I won't be able to place it there. I'm tempted just to chop it off now. Yeah, screw it. Perfect. I can still access all the underneath. That's the whole point of building it under here. And then, yeah, on top, it's a very, very flat top section because of all of the suspension stuff is nice and compact. This is roughly where the hitch is going to go. And then the back of the truck is going to be somewhere around here-ish. Or the back of the, where the trailers will attach. And then we've got all of this space, plus probably a bit more in front, where we'll be able to build everything else. Which I think is going to be quite nice. With that being on a
Meteor storm inbound.
different area, let's probably do that. Perfect. And then I've got some gaps in this chassis where I can put stuff in if I need. And then, yeah, all of the custom suspension fanciness. I'm actually really happy with this design. It looks good. Like I say, it's an untested design, so I don't 100% know how well it will actually work. It could work great, or it could be terrible and just flip and explode. But you know, I have to try things. I'm fairly good at building things without them exploding, but you know, sometimes it does happen. So I don't know. That'll be the sort of front bumper design. I think is quite nice. Right. Actually, I've done this slightly wrong. Yes. So currently I have all of this section attached to the actual, like, almost axle, you could say, of this bit. What I probably want to do is have nothing attached to this. And then have a bit of this part that goes over. Yeah, that's gonna work way better. I'm just gonna chop it all off and restart. Now I can't actually remember what rotor displacement this needs to be in order to work properly. I want to say it's -10. It might not be. It might just be... negative, like 0. Yeah, I think it might actually just be 0. Okay. Well, let's put it as negative as it goes for now. So we can put on the thing, but I need to remove that quickly. Do it. Actually, if I attach that quickly, put that into where it should be, and if I attach this, there should be no movement. There is. Right, so if I set these both to +10 and detach. Yeah, okay. So it should be there. Cool. And then from there, I want to place 2 of those and that like that. 2 of those and that like that. And then that like that, and that like that, and that is where I can add my points to, like that. I don't mind that. Looks pretty good to me. You could do a sort of very big one. Like that. I don't dislike that. I don't know if it sticks out maybe too far from the front now. But I don't know, I don't hate it. It's an interesting one, that. So in here you'd have, yeah, your driver's seat. And then you'd have, yeah, I guess a bed or something in the back. Oh, no energy. Yeah. I like that. I actually really like that. Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all of the wheels and stuff welded up. And I think I'll call it good for the night. Yeah. I don't think that's too bad. We've built an entire building and the start of a new vehicle. I would say that is pretty good going. Right. Ah, I'll get it done, and then let's have a look-see. And there we have it. A chassis of a potentially very, very cool truck. It's going to have, yeah, like nice suspension in the back, a tilting type suspension in the front, which should mean it stays fairly grounded all the time. I'm looking forward to seeing how well it works, and if it works. And also how we're going to make all the mechanism for it to carry vehicles and everything like that. Let's just eat that quickly. Good. But yeah, the storm has come in. I'm going to actually bed to get some sleep. And I'll see you all guys in the next one.